This is Kim, Kim Claver, and in the email I promised you some brainy ideas. Remember, are you ready for a brainy idea? So I want to give you actually a couple of them. The brainy ideas are things that have been used, and they're really ways of thinking. So it's not something like you read in a book and you go, oh, that's really cool. And then you put the book down and that's it. What I'm learning from reading some very interesting stuff about super intelligent people is how they make decisions. And I'm going to show you two of them right here. This is going to be for seasoned seniors. And of course, this is basically, they call a senior, I think, over 55. Maybe that's what it is. But it's really marketers, whether you're an affiliate marketer, whether you have your own coaching program, or whether you're a network marketer. If you're ready for a do-over with a brainy idea or two, that's who this is for. So are we all on board with that? Let me see in the chat. Just say yes, Y, or N so I can see that you're functioning and awake. So this might be your story. Buying too many how-to programs. That might be something that some of you have done. I know I have. Or you signed up for too many deals, or too many masterminds, or too many, programs. I don't know. Hey, John, good to see you. Or you have no idea where to start. Usually what happens is you sign up for all this stuff. Think, oh, that looks good. Oh, that looks good. No, that one's better. And this one's better. And it's like the network marketing deals, the affiliate deals, the how-to deals, and you have no idea where to start. In fact, a lot of people tell me they look at all the stuff. They don't even want to start. Is that you? Would you say, yes, I don't even want to bother? Because what you end up is giant overwhelm. And if you're there with that, and if you've had it with overwhelm, this little session is going to be for you. That's really what this is about. Because if you are on overwhelm, or if I am on overwhelm, we can't function. What happens with overwhelm is you do nothing. You have a drink, you have a bath, you I don't know, turn on the news. You find some way to distract yourself because everything, your mind is crowded like scrambled eggs. And most of the stuff that's in it is not worth even having in it. It's like cotton candy from Facebook, from Netflix, from the news, from, all these different things that they do to us. And we just keep listening and hearing and listening and hearing and listening. And pretty soon you're almost dysfunctional. And no wonder, sorry about the video, no wonder people are having hit the bottle. They say now that alcohol consumption and purchases are up higher than they've ever been, except since the beginning of the war over there in Iraq. So you can see what people are doing to turn the overwhelm, to get rid of it. And this is not necessarily what you want to do. I've got an alternative for you. So I have two brainy ideas. In the email, I promised you one. I'm going to have two. Are you good for that? Say yes. Just tell me Y or N if you're good for two brainy ideas instead of just one. All right, good. Here's number one. Instead of thinking that we have to talk to everyone about our thing, our business or our product or service, the first brainy idea is the Waters method. Okay, I've called this several things and I ended up on the Waters method. And here's what it is. It means you test the waters. So before you make your big presentation to whoever it is, or tell them, oh, I've got this thing, I've got this great product, has 89 ingredients. I have the coolest thing in the history of the world. You're going to totally love it. You know how people train you to talk like that about what you've got and how great it is and the technology and the science and all this stuff, right? Before you do anything like that. And then, of course, they shut you down. Oh, they glaze over and say, listen, I'll catch you later. And you never hear from them again. You didn't even get to make a presentation, right? So brainy idea number one is before you tell anybody anything about what you have, how great it is, how wonderful it is, anything, you do something that we call the Waters method, and you test the waters. We have quite a few ways that we do this, but I want to show you one so you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So you say, okay, so hey, Lulu. They say, Lulu, Mimi, Amy, whoever, David, question for you. You can do this on Facebook. You can do this on texting. You can even do it on the phone. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you on this? On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you on this? When it comes to weight loss, cleansing, and energy, where are you? This is the question. Now, guess what this is? When it comes to weight loss, when it comes to whatever your thing is, beautiful skin, getting your sex life back, when it comes to having beautiful hair, when it comes to having some kind of income at the time that you retire, when it comes to that, where are you? Okay. Here's the 1 to 10 scale. 1 is, no, I don't really care. 10 is, oh my gosh, that is off the charts big for me. Does everybody understand this? Tell me yes or no. Just Y or N. You get this concept of the testing of the water and you understand this scale. Is this clear to everybody? Hey, Shad, good to see you. Yep, that's what this is. So here's what you do. You wait for them to give their numbers. Okay, you wait for them to give their numbers and you'll see like 1, 4, 6, 8, 4, 4, 6, 6, 9, 9, like that. And you get this whole range of numbers. You wait for them before you notice that this question does not talk about your product or your company. There's no technobabble. There's no science. None of that. Do you see that? They don't even know that you have a business because you haven't talked about it yet. Tell me yes that you see this. Why? Y or N? Dale and Carl, you boys? Because I want to be sure once you get this, you never go back the old way. You'll feel so stupid blathering on about what you've got without knowing this first. And there are many ways to do this. Okay. When it comes to yada, 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 whatever the problem is that you solve or the desire that your program meets, where are you on this? Okay. So then 1 is, I don't care. 10 is, oh my gosh, that's off the charts. Notice we're not preaching at them. We're not saying, oh, this is what you have to do. No, we're asking them on the scale of 1 to 10, what's with you? What is your number? You wait to get their number. Now, here's what we did. I only follow up ever with 10s. I have done that since I discovered many years ago that how many of you would go, oh, I want to talk to the 9s and the 8s. Tell me who says that. Let me just see. It's okay. How many of you figure if I had a 9, I could pull them over the edge? Right? And so you go chasing after the 9 or 8 or 7. What's going to happen is you'll discover, you can test it for yourself, but I can just tell you, save yourself the hassle. We only followed up with the 10s. And the reason is if somebody was a 9, I'd say, okay, great. Thanks a lot. I'll catch you later. They'd say, well, what do you have? And I said, well, right now I'm only going to follow up with the 10s because I really want people who are on a 10. Well, I'm a 9. And you know what I'd ask them? Why are you a 9? Why aren't you a 10? Because I want an easy lay. I want a lay down deal. Do you know what I mean? A lay down. Easy peasy to get them to sign up, hand over a credit card. Why? Because they've got the problem. And if there's a 9, that means there's an issue, something holding them back. I don't want to deal with that. I don't have time in my life to be dragging people across the finish line. Somebody might say, well, I'm really a 10, but I have to ask my husband and he always says no, so that's why I'm a 9. Do you really want to spend your time on an order for which you might make 10 or 15 bucks or 20 maybe, depending on what you sell, of course. If you have a $5,000 or $10,000 program, we say, okay, bring the other half. Let's talk on the phone and see. Right? If they're financially qualified, if you're into high ticket, you're selling something $5,000 or $10,000, like some of our programs, then that might be what you do. But otherwise, you can make a decision how you want to spend your time. But I have found that even the 9s, there's a reason they're not a 10, and it's why they end up saying no. If you want to build fast, you have to go for yes, not no. And this is the way you do that. So we only followed up with the 10s. That was usually about 10% of all the people that responded. So 1 in 10 would give me a 10. 1 in 10. Say, yes, you got that. Only 1 in 10, 1 in 10. And that's all I followed up with. Nobody else. And that is why we skipped pushing on the 9 for whom they said the problem was not a 10. So the 1s, 2s, 3, anything under 7 is really easy. And people kind of waffle on 8s and 9s. Oh, because they don't have anybody to talk to. But you see, if you only talk to the 1, the chances of them getting in are 50 to 80%. Very high, very, very high. We did that. That's why we built everything so fast. Do you see how that works? If you spend your time waiting for callbacks from 8s and 9s and waiting, you'll discover why you don't want to do 9s. That's why. Because you waste your time and your energy and you're hanging on hoping that they're going to do something and they don't. That's why they're a 9. There is a hang up. You don't want any hang ups. You want yes, 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 gimme, gimme, gimme. Let me tell you the kink here. Of the 10s, we would usually enroll 5 to 8 and 10. So of all the people, typically, depending on where you're fishing, 1 in 10 person would say, I'm a 10 on that issue, or I want that kind of income, or I want to build a business like that. 1 in 10. Okay. See this? 1 in 10. Of the 10s, let's say we got 10 of those in a week because we're hustling. 5 to 8 of those would sign up because they told us it was top priority before we said boo. Has everybody got this? Say Y or N if you got this straight, because you want to learn how to do this. So this is why for almost 30 years we recruited and brought in customers and recruits so fast, dozens per month. We'd recruit and do this like crazy for 6 months, and within 6 months I was at the top of every company I ever built, all 6 of them, usually sooner. Okay, because this is what we did. Variations of this. We didn't talk to anybody else. The amount of time and energy that they suck from you, and they're not even the ones, is horrible. You feel horrible. Then you resent them, and then you hate them, and then you think their kids are ugly anyway, and blah, 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 blah. And the only one feeling the pain is you. You're the one at night thinking, you know, what am I going to do? How come they won't say yes? And they weren't a 10. We cannot install the 10 in their mind. If I ever create a pill and we make everybody a 10, I will be happy to give it to you guys. Wouldn't that be great? Here, take this, pop this, and you'll be a 10. But values come with people, and they take time to be educated. If you want to go fast, you go for the yes. Does this make sense? Say yes. So why don't you sign up all of them? So I say, well, Kim, you're so good. Why don't you get them all the 10s? Because there are different paths to solving the same problem. We had one of those paths. Do you see what I mean? For example, let's say that you are somebody who's into weight loss and cleansing and energy, say that area. There are many ways to achieve energy and physical high performance and feeling youthful and energized and looking good. There are many ways to achieve that. You could go to like the Golden Door and spend, I don't know, 5 or 10 grand a week these days, maybe more. And go to a classy fat farm or a junky fat farm. Go to some place in Mexico, right? Some other place. You could also do a juice fast. You could do a water fast. You can take appetite suppressants. You can change what you eat and do shake programs. You can do mental programs. You can do all kinds of paths to get the outcome of a vibrant, sexy, beautiful person again. Do you see that? There are many paths to solve the problem. Say yes. Let me see a Y or N if you get this. That's why we will never get all of them, because some of them say, well, I don't really want to do, say that. I'd rather achieve this by doing that. Do you see what I mean? That's why there are many cereals in the cereal aisles, or toothpaste, or that's why you have different neighborhoods and different cars. A car is a car, right? It gets you someplace, but some people want this kind, some people want that kind. They're all a 10. Yes, they want wheels, but then of the wheels, do they want luxury or low end, or a truck or a tractor, or, you know, a Ferrari? Okay. We have this. Okay, good. This is Brainy idea number 1, the waters method. Have we got this? You ready for Brainy idea number 2? Let's see how many yeses we get here. All right, good. All right, here's Brainy idea number 2. This comes from Jeff Bezos. And here I'm going to teach you how he makes important decisions. Now, the first time that he was conscious of using this is many years ago when he started Amazon. Since they have built Amazon, all the big decisions that they've made, this is the main process that he's used to do it, where he's involved himself. Big decisions, okay? Like, what kind of a company are you going to represent? How much time are you going to represent? Is this going to be something you do 1 or 2 hours a week? Or could you change your whole life and become somebody at the end where you go, man, you know, when you're 80 or 85, I have become the person I wanted to be, right? Who do you want to be at that point? So making a decision, a big one in particular, I'm going to show you what he does. Would you like to see what that is? He's a pretty smart boy. He gives before he asks, and I'm going to show you this because I have something to offer you at the end, a program that's not one of the big $10,000 programs, so don't worry about that. But I'm going to encourage you to use the same 3 criteria, which are directives, questions that you ask your mind before you make a decision one way or the other. Have we got it? So you got to tune in here. Got to stay sober. 2. 3 directives to his mind. Okay, so you kind of separate yourself from your brain and you go, okay, Kim, okay, Carl, okay, Chris, here's what we're doing here. Before we make this decision, he used the outcome of this process here to make these decisions. And the decision I wanted to talk to you about is he had 28, 29 years ago, Bezos was an investment banker. He had some kind of position like a quant or something. And so he did a lot of hedge fund and trading with numbers, like very fancy numbers person. And he was making quite a lot of money, and he had a big bonus coming for his company. And he heard about online marketing. It was like 1992, just when it was kind of coming awake for normal people. And they said, well, the online could be a big world. And he thought, yeah, maybe it could be a big world. And what could I do in that world that I could build from nothing, and that I would enjoy? And he decided, after thinking of all the things that he might be able to sell online, remember at that time, everything was still on dial-up. You heard the little sound when you dial up, you get that sound. That's the way it was. Nobody had broadband. So he decided he was going to go for the online book building business. And I want you to know how he decided. Number 1, take this down. Project yourself. This is what he did. Project yourself to age 80. You got it? Say yes. YN. Carl, Chris, Dale, Daria. Project yourself to age 80. Just picture that. And if you're 80 now, project yourself 85, 90. Pick a number. But he did 80. Imagine looking back on your life at that age. Just take a small break and look back on your life at that age. Just picture that. Can you do that? Can you do that? No Facebooking. This is you and you and you. That's what it is, just you. You're looking back, right? You could look in the mirror, you could look in your mind. And then you ask yourself, whatever decision you're trying to make that is big, in so many years, let's say you're now 60. You say, in 20 years, will I regret taking this action, or will I regret not taking this action? Okay, so that's the question. So picture 80, whatever you are now, say you're 65, 15 years from now, or if you're 70, 10 years from now, or if you're 55, it's 35 years from now, right? Is that right? I think so. Take 80, X is the number between the number that you are right now and 80. Will I regret taking this decision, making this action, taking this action, or will I regret not taking this action? Is that clear to you? We're not saying, is it bad or good? It's, will doing it be, will I regret that I did it, or will I regret that I didn't do it? We clear? Say yes. He gave these directives to his mind. Now, there are 2 things that you should know about this. He knew that if he said, I will regret that I didn't do it, if that was his answer, that he also knew that he would never regret if he failed doing it. This is extremely critical for you to get straight. Because most people that are normal, particularly in our industry, we're taught no is bad, failure is bad. It's not. There's no way to get anywhere without falling down on the trip. So failing means that you don't get it right the first time. So what? Get over it already. Amazon was in the red for, oh God, I invested in them when they first started. They were in the red for, I don't know, probably 10 years, if not more. Same thing with Federal Express. Fred Smith, they were in the red for, 10 years? You see, so you don't get it right the first time. Ask God about that. Don't ask me. I don't have a clue. So you have to know that if you say, I will regret it when I'm 80, that I didn't even do that, I didn't undertake that. Let's say that's your choice. You might say, no, I would regret that I did it. Or I would regret it if I failed, because I don't want to fail at anything, in which case you'll probably end up in a hovel someplace, because that's where people who don't do anything end up. The only people who don't fail are people who don't do jack. If you don't do anything, well, then I guess you're going to stay the way you are. That's kind of boring. But he knew that if he said yes, he would never regret failing at it. You must make this decision in your mind because you won't do anything right the first time. Tell me yes or no that you have this. Y or N? Let me see. It's critical you get this in your mind. You're human like all of us, right? But he knew he would regret that he never gave it a shot. That is what he knew. And if you have these things in your mind, you can make the decision. So you can use these same directives for your own mind so that you don't make decisions you regret later. This framework was called the Regret Prevention Framework. Leave it to a nerd like Bezos to come up with that. Why? Because most people don't want to have regrets when it's really too late to do anything about it. And all of us humans are very short-sighted, very short, instant gratification, instant this, instant that. Most of you probably, no matter how old you are, take John or Dale. We got several Johns, Kathy. Just be conscious of, know in your mind how old you are. Just say the number in your mind. Did it come pretty fast? This age that you're at right now, would you say it came really fast? Yes or no? Right? It blasted. It's like, how did this happen? You see? And it's not because we're so dumb. No, it's because Facebook, the news, Netflix, Google, your gadgets that you carry around, we are so attached to them that all day long it's bleep, bleep, bzz, bzz, bup, 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 and every day you're completely distracted. And at the end of the day, you're tired. So of course you have to have some wine and sit down and go to bed and relax with another movie because you're so tired from looking at the news. You can't do anything about the news. You can't do anything about what happens next on, I don't know, West Wing or whatever you're looking at, right? You can't do anything about Biden or Trump or anyone. So you see, they've got us so fixated on being distracted because our brains, human brains are like that, that every day that you get older, you miss the whole thing. At the end of the day, we have a little time exercise in one of these programs where you learn to be conscious of how much time at the end of the day, you don't even know what you did with it. So one way is to get back control of what you do and limit what's coming to the outside, lest you hit 80 or 90 and you go, I can't believe I got there and I didn't do jack. So this is why this is called the Regret Prevention Framework, to make decisions. You see that? Does that work? All right, so I'm going to show you. I have something to show you. It's, like I said, it's a small program. I want to offer you something here that's nothing like our $10 or $15 or $24,000 program. But I have something that I want to offer you that's going to take you 5 days to do, 5 hours to do it. And it has some very super highly intelligent models built into it to help you do that so that you can decide better how to spend the rest of your next 15, 20, 30 years with any career path that you choose. 5 hours is what we do to try to prevent this onset of holy crap, what happened? You want to see it? Yes or no? Tell me yes or no. I knew you would, Mr. Berg and Daria. Good to see you guys here. So the whole thing can be done in 5 days, an hour per day. And if you do it right, we are going to have a super duper model of it with some really high level brain people, but you have to pass this one first. See if you even can get this far. You know what I mean? It's kind of like English 101 before you get to go to MIT. So the whole thing can be done in 5 days, an hour a day. And here's what the approach is. Everybody knows, I think, that in the industry of sales and marketing, whether it's affiliate marketing, it doesn't matter what it is, network marketing, your own marketing, rejection is the #1 killer of the hopes and dreams that people have. And you know now from 10 minutes ago, that there is a way to only talk to the 10s. Do you remember that? Say yes. Tell me you remember. Just that one brainy approach saves you 9 out of 10 no's. Did you know that? Just quit talking to anybody that's not a 10. The heck with them. If you want money fast, you have to go fast. You take the downhill slope, not schlepping uphill. No, take the downhill. All the 10s are downhill. You have a pleasant conversation no matter what they say, and most of them say yes. You see that? So this is one right here. This rejection is the number one killer. Most people get a face full every day. That's why they stop talking to people, and they don't even have to. They didn't know. So we have a way to help you with the Bezos decision as well about what your calling actually is. It doesn't matter what it is. It's you're going to be 80 or 85, and if you don't want to look back and want to shoot yourself for being so stupid because you can't remember any Facebook message that you got, you can't remember how many likes you got, you don't even care anymore about the fight that you had with somebody who didn't like your product. What do you care now when you're 85? What did you achieve? Screw all that. You don't, that's not the way to achieve anything. You need to be you, and I want to help you be that with this little tiny program. So this is the Brainy End of Rejection Challenge. It's the complete program. It's 5 days. Let me show you what the 5 days are, because it's all done and beautifully laid out for you and all ready and shiny. Day 1 is we're going to show you how to use your imagination in ways that you have never dreamed. I promise you that. We have some really good people in this program to help you do that. And so a video comes with it. That's day 1. And you get a PDF that gives you the exercise you get to do. Of course, some people don't do the exercise. I don't care if you do it or not, but if you do it, it's kind of like, if you move your arm, you will develop a muscle. If you never move it, what you get is whatever hangs from the bottom. So you decide if you do this, you're going to get this one, right? And if you don't do jack, well, then it's going to hang, right? There's a name for that. Have we got that? So you decide, because no matter what, the world's going to know you're hanging, right? All right. There's an MP3 and audio. So we ripped off the audio so you can just hear it when you go out hiking or running or whatever you're doing. And we have a complete transcription. I love to read stuff. I've been in many masterminds and I love to see them. So that's day 1, your 1 hour exercise right there. How to use your imagination. And what do I mean? Like all humans have imagination. I don't mean Disney, that you have to go to Disney and see him do it. No. Disney, in fact, he called what he did Imagineering. Do you know that? He made it a verb. Walt Disney. Imagineering. That's what they call the cartoonists over there. You want to come to be an Imagineering type person because you have to invent things. And the examples we have are like the pyramids in the old, 2000 years BC. The deserts are flat. They're still flat. But the pharaohs thought, well, we need to have something to commemorate us because they thought they were hot stuff. And so they imagined this big, how could they do a big round mound? Or could they, build like a high rise, but they didn't have the high rise abilities in those days. So they built a pyramid. They imagined it and had thousands of people building it. The shot to the moon, it was an imagination. Somebody imagined it. Henry Ford, he didn't want to make a faster horse. That's what people asked him. Make us faster horses and stronger and ones that don't poop on the street. Great, right? But he made a car, didn't even have a horse. If you bring this out of yourself, whatever it is that lights your fire, this will keep you lit the rest of your days. You don't need anything from the outside at all, except to do it and see as you go. See are we there? That's day 1. That's your first hour. Day 2 is faith. Now, by faith, I don't mean religious faith, because everybody has different religions probably, and some people don't have any at all. What I mean by faith is belief. It's belief. And what faith does is if you have faith that other sources than you will help you, somehow give you some kind of favor, as it were, to put the wind beneath your wings. When that happens, you'll feel it inside. Whether it's true or not makes no difference. Belief is about certainty that we feel, that we act on. John Rockefeller lived on it. Before he became huge, big, and famous, he was very smart and very numbers oriented. And when he was like 26 or 27, the company Standard Oil almost went bankrupt. And he wasn't quite bankrupt. He needed to figure out a way to get he was oil refining. He was an oil refiner, and he needed a way to be able to get his oil out there, because he refined everybody's oil that was out there, digging for the oil. And so he went to meet with Mr. Vanderbilt, and John D. had to take a train to get there because he was in Cleveland and Vanderbilt was in, I don't know, North Carolina or something. And he missed the train. like moments before the train was to leave. He got there like 2 minutes late. His luggage was on the train, but he missed the train. He was the only one who missed the train. The train, an hour or two later, went off the rails. Almost everybody died, burned. And after that, he was already very religious. He knew God has chosen me for this. It doesn't matter whether you believe it's true or not. It doesn't matter what we believe or what anybody believes. What matters is what he believes. Why? Because it gave him wind beneath his wings that when he met with Vanderbilt, who was the richest man at the time in the world, he had like a power. Vanderbilt said, we never met anybody like that. Who is that? That is faith. That's what we're talking about. You want to develop that. We're going to show you how to do that in day 2. Okay. Day 3, the connection. You need to connect. Once you've got your imagination, you got your thing, you got your faith there, it's beginning to build because you learn how to build it. How are you going to connect? What is that? Well, who are you going to help? And how do you connect with them? So they say yes, and they hear the call. They hear your call. See? That's connection. So that's your niche that you're going to do, and then how to message so that they hear what you're talking about. Like today, you're here. I put out a call today. Hey, you want to get a brainy idea? Yeah, here you are. This is it. You see? This is just what you're going to learn to do. Day 4, advisor. How can you be an advisor instead of a seller? How can you be seen as somebody who advises instead of sells? Are you with me? Cornelius, yes, sir. That was him, Carl. We got it? Day 4. Would you rather be seen as an advisor or as a seller? A or S? Put it in the chat. Let me see. Who wants to be seen as one of those people doing one of those things that is like so dumb? All right, day 5, the Sensodyne shirt. This is how they're going to know what you do for people. Now, Sensodyne is the name of a toothpaste. Probably most of you know that. Can you imagine being at the like, I don't know, Walmart or one of these big grocery stores, supermarkets, that they have? And you'll see cereal aisles with dozens and dozens of cereals, or you'll see toothpaste aisle. That's another one, right? Dozens and dozens of toothpaste. And all of them, number one, have a market. All the toothpaste. The toothpaste at night, when the lights go off in those stores, these different toothpaste, Sensodyne doesn't go over to the other toothpaste like Gleam and say, you suck. Nobody does that, right? They don't do that. They don't talk to each other at night and scream about who's better. And the customers, when they come in during the day, if they have sore gums or sensitive gums, they're probably going to make a beeline for Sensodyne because that is what the toothpaste is for sore gums. That company makes tens of millions of dollars because they're wearing their Sensodyne shirt. People with sore gums. Have we got it? Say yes. Yes, see a Y in there that you understand this. There's going to be another toothpaste that says, we are certified organic. If somebody wants certified organic, are they going to buy the one that's certified organic or the one that says Sensodyne for sensitive gums? What are they going to buy? Sensodyne or the certified organic? Right? What if you want a cheap toothpaste? I want the cheap one, so there's cheapo toothpaste. What if you want one with extra fluoride? What if you want one with no fluoride? What if you want a toothpaste that is for people with yellow teeth? So you have a toothpaste that helps you whiten teeth. Do you see they're all kind of toothpaste, right? But they're all different ones and each one makes millions. And if you learn how to put on your Sensodyne shirt for your business or your product line, do you see how you are similarly positioned then when this day comes that you can do this? Say yes. Y or S Y or no that you have this. I want to be sure you get this. Right? And the clearer you are about who you can help with what, the better off you are. The better off you are. So that's what I have for you. This is my little program. So this is going to be the end of the show. Let me show you how you could get it for those of you who'd like to do this. Before I give you the price, which you'll be pleasantly surprised at, we have a program called the Mr. Rogers $20 million in 6 minutes. How many of you have ever heard of that? Heard of Mr. Rogers? You know about his TV program that he had for years. Some of you maybe see it as kids or your parents saw it as kids. He, in the mid-60s, 1960s, they were going to take away his funding. I think Nixon was president at the time, and they were going to take away the funding for PBS and the Children's Network and yada, yada, yada. Oh my God, right? So he is Mr. Non-Hype. He spoke so softly. If you watch the video, you just, like I was telling somebody, I cry every time I see it. I've never seen English in a sales situation used so perfectly, so beautifully. We could almost put it to music. I should hire somebody and have them create a song, a 6-minute song with those words that are on there that he gave. Not one shred of hype, no histrionics, no threats, nothing about, oh, if you do this, not a technical word in there, not a single word that somebody who was 6 years old would not understand. And in 6 minutes, he got $20 million. 20 million. That is one load of money when we can't figure out how to get $50 and we're full of technobabble and all this other crap, right? So I took this, broke it down, made a big class out of it, and we're going to give you this as a bonus, the Mr. Rogers program and the transcription of it, of course, and how you can do this for your own. Would you like that? It's a freebie. It's a freebie. Yeah. So if you can persuade, I think we sell it for like $200 or something. Okay. All right. Now for the first 20 people, and I don't know if all of you are going to be interested in this, but if you are, you want to be in the first 20 here. A lot of people don't realize that I'm a pretty ancient person. I have been around for a long time, and I have a nutritionist that I've had for, 35 some years. And we have persuaded her to give a session on how to eat for energy and peak performance. And when you see it, she's a 3-time author on Amazon. We're working to get her on the Oprah, one of Oprah's programs, because the approach is so unique and so simple. And I have lived by it almost, since 30 years, maybe 35 years. And I can beat most people that are 45 and 50 or 55 and 60 in terms of I can pull an all-nighter and I don't have to crash. I can think, I can read, I can, I'm like functional a lot. And I have started several businesses pretty late in life. And some of them go bust, but some of them really work big. And you can't do it if you have no energy and you have no peak performance. And if all you can do is think, oh, give me a drink because I'm tired. And pretty soon you get fatter and fatter, and pretty soon you're big as a barn and you can't get up. I don't want that. I don't want to be sorry when I'm 80 or 90 or 100 or 110. I'm going to call up Amy and say, let's play some tennis. Let me beat you when I'm 96, right? She's 24. Okay, so this is also going to be free. She's going to give a session on this class. Okay, so would you like to get into class? You want me to show you how to get this? Yeah. Okay, yeah, for you guys that are interested, okay, you go to, Amy, do you have the link for this one? The program is $147.
Yeah, I do. I'll put that in there.
And I know it sounds like, oh my gosh, how come that's all it is? And the reason it's so little, we could charge $500 for this or more probably, but we're looking for about 20 people and make it easy for you to say yes, because if you don't have $147, you probably don't have a business of any kind yet. And then you might want to wait or borrow it from somebody so that you can see if your mind is ready. If you're ready to tell your mind, honey, here's how it's going to be. This is what we're going to do. And this is how it's going to happen. And how to shut off the outside world that is destroying your ability to focus and eat and think. And you're going to be 85. And yes, you'll have given Facebook boatloads of traffic, which means that they get advertisers and they get the money and you have nothing, except you can't even remember what you did with the last 20 years. You've been so busy on Facebook and Google and getting beeps and bopped. I don't want that to happen to me. So if you don't want that to happen to you, do something now while you're above ground, you're sober, and you can make a decision based on what I just gave you. So it's $147. And those, you'll see, this is the order page. Now, sorry, it's not more gorgeous, but this will do it. The link is endofrejection.com. 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 Go there for the order page. Can you guys go there and tell me if that link works? Okay. Oh, hey, Frank, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you too, Daria. Your hair's looking good, girlfriend. Yep. Don't think I can't see you over there. Yeah. All right. So go ahead and get yourself in here. For those of you that want to do this, and you want to be in the first 20, that's a good thing. And then I want to give you a little surprise here. Let me ask you, how many of you feel like this is a program that you know people that might like to know about it? How many of you would like to think that maybe there are other people who would like to know about this, and that you might want to consider being sort of an ambassador for this program and for what it stands for? Learning how to really take yourself back with the examples that I gave, like that. Okay. So here's what we're doing. We have an ambassador program that we have set up for people who own this program, the end of rejection owners, right? For short, this is called the EOR program. And this program, as you know, it's like $147 for the 5-day program. And you see everything there. As soon as you sign up, you're in the members area and you start, and we'll put you into our Facebook group. So, you know, when the Dr. Heidi thing comes, and you get access to the things that you need. And for every person that you refer this program to, once you're in it yourself, we'll give you a special link for that. We will pop you $47. Okay. So if you want in and you think, you know, I think so-and-so might really benefit from this program, you'll have a link that goes to the page. And when the person, a little video like this is going to appear. And at the end of it, there's a sign-up page like you see here, and you will be linked to that. And what happens is, as soon as they go through it and they make a purchase, guess what happens? If you have a PayPal account, you'll be connected to the PayPal account. And 2 or 3 minutes later, it'll say, you've got money. You've got money. Okay, that's what we're going to do here. So who are my ambassadors going to be? Do we have any questions from anybody here while you're filling out those of you that are filling out your forms? We're getting those in. That's great to see. The link is endofrejection.com. 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 Go there for the order page. We have quite a good, strong ambassador program. And what we're doing actually in the Facebook group, I'm going to be doing a little training later this week to show you how to market this in exactly the same ways that we're talking about before. And you just imagine, where could you be 5 years from now? You know, if you take yourself under control and do something here where the Facebooks of the world and the Googles of the world don't control you, but you do, you know, very different type of life. So such a bunch of you all at the same time. Great. For some of you that have been kind of feeling like, crap, it must be me, I can't do this. It's true. You cannot do this if you are constantly your mind is being hijacked, and your attention by what you eat or drink, or what you allow into your mind and into your ears and into your space, into your, like, I'll tell you something. For those of us that are seniors, this is quite an important thing. You don't want to have the rest of your life be a train wreck. If you think the first part was a train wreck, I mean, you can start, Joe, right now. The minute you sign up, it starts right now. These bonuses are the special bonuses for how to eat, how to drink, all that stuff. And they are for the first 20 people who come in here today. But it starts the moment you sign up. You're in there and you can start your 5 days. And then you come into our Facebook group. So you can be done in 5 days, and then we can see if you qualify for the next step up, which is the super uber intelligent stuff that we're going to be doing. We have some marvelous super intelligence models. And those are principles that people like Elon Musk use every day to make simple decisions. And they're nothing like what we do. And I want to teach those. But that's the next step. First, we have to know how to get ourselves a little bit under control. And once you have that, then you can start using these super mind principles. Why do you think Elon is so smart? He doesn't think the way we do. Thank God that he tells us in his books and his videos and his audios and all the stuff I've read about him and Steve Jobs and Bezos. They tell us how they think. But if you don't just blow it off as entertainment, oh, that's fun, and then you go back and get distracted again because they've hijacked your mind, you won't change anything. You'll just be an object for somebody else, your eyeballs for their ads, or your eyeballs or ears for whatever they're selling. And there you sit, helpless, because they're smarter than we are. I'll tell you something. Two things. One is that two of the Facebook founders quit Facebook in the last 2 years, I think. I'm trying to remember the names of the guys. And they said because Mark Zuckerberg knows that what they're doing is mind control with the likes. There are people that have been observed in places like Africa, Kenya, a father who was supposed to pick up his children. You know, they live quite normal lives. They don't have all the stuff that we have over here. And he left his kid screaming for hours, which is completely unheard of in those communities, in these countries, because he was waiting to see if his Facebook post from Kenya was getting any likes. And if his wife hadn't come along, the kid probably would have either starved or been eaten by some animal out there because he was too distracted, waiting to get a like, to watch his kid. This is bad. You know, when your instinctual habits to take care of your young and are being interfered with because they've hijacked your mind, you're screwed. But you see, if we can talk about it all we want, but first we have to fix ourselves. Once we do that, then we're cooking. Then we can fix the next person. And we can't tell them, oh, no. You want to say, look, when you're 80 or 85, how do you want to feel about who you are and what you did and what you decided and what you didn't decide? And many hard decisions, we will be grateful we made them at 85 or 90. But many decisions we'll think, I wish I had done that, but I never did. I was too chicken. That's what you don't want. Because when it's too late, it's too late. And that's a horrible feeling. So you have a chance to stop, get off, get back to where you are. You can always go back to where you were. This is not going to set anybody back that much. We're talking about, what, $150 here? So start right away. Yeah, how to be an ambassador. Okay. What you want to do is send an email to our help desk and just put in the subject, ambassador, please. And inside this email, put in there, I'd like to be an ambassador. And here is my email. What we need is, I believe, your PayPal email. And what will happen is we'll get you a link for it, because you're going to get a link that goes to a short video like what we did here. And then at the end, people have an opportunity to purchase just exactly the same that we have right here, almost the same. This one's a little bit updated. And when the payment is made by them, the $47 is sliced right off and put into your PayPal account. Okay, so that's what you do. Write that email, put in the subject, ambassador, please, and in the inside, put your PayPal email and say, I'd like to be an ambassador, and we'll take care of you in the next 24 hours. I think we're set. Thanks a lot. See you all inside.